You might hate me today because I have so many questions. It's been very nostalgic for me because since childhood I've been hearing your music and I've been learning things. Like I have been into Indian classical music since the beginning. So I did not get exposed to different genres of music at that point of time because I was not allowed to listen to.
Good. I think your Guruji did a good thing.
So he was very particular about that. But obviously I could do my own thing when people are not around. So I used to sneak
Guilty pleasures.
check music. So that point I checked your music and I somehow I related to the music because it was based on Indian ragas, and at the same time sometimes, but most of the times I felt it is happening like it's an Indian thing which is happening, but at the same time a lot of Western music is happening in the background, and I always felt your songs are not like English songs. It's like it's a unique piece of English music, but at the same time the soul is very Indian. I have always felt that.
Yeah. So let me explain. So we are all multicultural, right? We are not now we're born in this India, which is like more than now 74 years after independence. We have become multicultural. We are imbibing, we are absorbing many different cultures. Some of the basic foundation of us is Indian culture. Then what the British left, what the Mughals left, what influence of China, Africa, all that stuff is there in advertising. They use a lot of score and things. So I wouldn't call Western as a blanket name. So I grew up, like when I said, I played in the industry, film industry, when it was mostly Indian and folk, but also the scoring used to have Western influences, more symphonic influences, right?
Yes.
So I never used to think that, oh, this is Indian, this is Western. So it is like the way I was influenced, what I would listen to. And so it came naturally. Okay, now I didn't calculate, okay, now this much I'll put Western, then half kilo I'll put Indian. So I also played with fusion bands like El Shankar, Zakir Hussain that time. Just one thing, I think when you're young, one big influence is enough to have you like a deep impact. And so, but because I played in the industry when I was young for 10 years, there was a rebel in me. I'm like, I should not do this. This whole zone of what could I do? So, and then like every student who's a big critic about everything, that's not right, this is not right. But when you pushed in the real life, you struggle and said, oh my God, it's so difficult. Somebody say me, it's easy to criticize someone, but we all become that when you're young, like, I don't like this, I don't like the way it's done, I don't like the recording, I don't like this production, why can't it be like this, why can't it be that? And the people are doing, and people are getting jobs, that's a great thing. But when you get in, it is really, really difficult. And for me, as I keep saying again and again, all this when Mani Ratnamji came, I put in, I said, like, this is what I want to do. And he helped me in a way because he was understanding. Imagine I'd gone to an impatient person and he said, what is this guy? I can't handle him. Boom, fire him. That's it. So that didn't happen. He was patient.
That reminds me of basically, see, for you it was I understand because your education was like that. But for me especially, I have been listening to Indian music in a specific way.
Yeah.
It was picked, it was given to us.
Correct.
We were hearing a certain kind of music, and then something we heard what you made basically, which was not which was not really similar to what we were hearing. It was very, very different.
Actually, we tried very hard. Why? Because we had like great giants like MSV, Ilayaraja Saab, and they covered almost everything. So for me to even come up with something new, I had to literally go to every inch and every centimeter of the score and say, oh, this is Carnatic. If I play Carnatic Yemen, it will remain of this. If I do any Carnatic raga, this will remain, people will be reminded of other things. So let me try Hindustani. Let me try Desh. Let me try Darbari. Pilu. So these ragas were because I felt like, this is nice. This South India has never heard, not never heard. I mean, they are great giants
It's not
who compose
that
beautiful things.
popular. That's what you mean, I
Yeah.
guess.
So even now, I feel like people are limiting just to Yaman and Puri Dhanashri and Bhairavi. I think many other ragas, Marathi film has done amazing things,
Yes.
and in Bengali, I think I hear some beautiful stuff.
Yes.
But general mainstream music is sticking to major, minor, and guitars. So I feel like no, not a bad thing. If you need variety, like you need, but also everybody is so fast. I mean, they want things so fast. Like they want to hear a hit straight away. They don't know how a song evolves and how they don't have the time anymore when it comes to challenges about money and so can't blame anyone. I think that's when musicians come in, composers come in.
Right. But I also felt, see, you're talking about this major minor thing, and it has been a topic in my life while studying you. You're actually a case study for me all the time. Your specific style of transition from a major to a minor on a same song, and going into a different raga and coming back to the same melody again. These things are basically we are sticking to major and minor, I think, just because of we don't have enough education, and we don't know how to, like,
No, I wouldn't say. So there is a famous saying that what you're seeking is seeking you. When you seek something, it comes in. So it's good to start seeking, and then that's what made me. Well, I've tried many ragas and failed. I've never not even showed. For instance, there's a Bilaskani Todi, then there's Todi, South Indian Todi. Yeah, I've done many songs and I've done some. Then I played it to directors and they're like, it's too classical, and so they rejected it. It's fine. At least I tried. I'm happy that I've tried, and then I've
you've
showed
tried
them.
many.
Huh?
You've tried many ragas.
No, but even this stuff which has never come out, like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and just because it's not just okay, I've done it in a new rag, but how can you take the spirit of that and bring the melody into those notes? There's certain notes which create magic in a rag, right?
Yes.
And how do you find those notes? For instance, like for Yemen, that's when you feel like.
Kedar is basically sounds. Kedar sounds like that.
Kedar, Yemen, I mean, on the. So,
on Tivra Madhyam, you're talking about.
Correct. And then there's also.
What is that
In
rag?
the song, sorry. What did you say?
There is a song in a film called Water that you can.
Oh, yeah.
And Sadhna Sargam sang that song, I guess. I don't remember exactly.
Naina Neer.
Near Bahai.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
What is that rag? I don't understand that rag. It's a bouncer
I think it's
rag.
Bhatiyar, Mishra Bhatiyar. or
Mishra
something like
Bhatia.
Yeah.
It goes like that, right?
Yeah. I think there was a very famous ad with Kavitaji sang, and there was a composer who was very adorable composer, very old composer. I think Vaidyanathan or in the north.
Okay.
So he used to compose only for jingles mostly,
Okay.
and I think it's Vaidyanathan. And I used to wait for his compositions because when I used to do jingles, his stuff used to stand out, and it had that amazing, what I said, that the spirit of a rag always imbibed into whatever he used to do. And yeah, so we all grew up with many teachers.
Yeah, of course.
And for me, there's still teachers around. Like, still I feel like, oh my God, what is this? Who's this kid who's singing? 8-year-old singing Bhairavi like this, Yeah. Anjali Gaikwad, when she sang, I was like blown away. and so blessed. The every gamaka, everything would be bang on. There's no slip in it. You heard her, right?
No, I didn't.
I think.
I how about we think about how you incorporated chord progressions into a raga, like how do I define this? Like, it's very difficult to imagine a specific progression in a raga like multani, or for me it is like that. For me, the chord structure becomes very weird. But I have always seen that it was always a Rahman surprise for us. Like, okay, this rag is like this progression now. Okay, we have got this now. That's a case
No,
study.
because yeah, if I it's interesting because um I was trying to do something a couple of days back, and in Malcons.
Malcolmus, okay.
Malcons is like, after a while you feel restless. Oh my god, same five notes. Come on, do something else. So the melody doesn't go out of the thing, but the chord can
Yeah.
slightly slip away, do some secret things.
Yes.
But it is how you feel. Sometimes certain things are awkward, and just before the final mix, I take out something. Oh my god, it's too much. It's it takes away the feel when you keep listening to it repeatedly. If it does something harm to your system spirit, that means something is not working. Just because it's new, it doesn't have to work. So I take out many things and go back to I copy paste the first arrangement, or so it is a process. It's not like in one day you create magic. It's like a medicine. Every day you take. After 1 week, there's a change, and then you have to do something else. So that's why you need time, and we're all like human. We're not machines deciding on formulas. Even though formulas are good, you need time to think, and that's when people realize, oh, I listened to it first time, I didn't like it, but I'm liking it the third time, fourth time, because there's so much. Even the process is like that. Process, it's not simple. It's filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered, and towards the end, after you do everything, it goes out. If you, oh my god, I missed something. The mix could have been, the vocals could have gone up, or you're never happy. I mean, even you try, but at least you're trying to reach somewhere. Not, that's over. No.
Right. And that reflects, I think, uh, I always felt that your songs are your thoughts, like, because every time I hear your music, there are different dynamics to a song. Like, it's not like even if it is a loopy song, like most of the songs, like you have something which is loopy, which is constantly
Chaya chaya.
chaya chaya, or else that rangila sam turu tu tu tu,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
hook. You have something which is constantly going. Even in Hori Chori Man Bhile, that song, you have a the drone which is constantly keeping the song ambient. Something which is trancey all the time, uh, and then the dynamics come, and I always feel that you have a certain way of thinking, and you have a different story for the music apart from the film. Is that am I making sense?
No,
Is that how it is?
Yeah, I understand. Because sometimes we get inspired by each other, like film, and the way the maker does picturization, and or probably like from the case of Mani Ratnam, he his previous movies are extraordinary picturization. So you've grown up with that, and so I was scared to even compose. Like, oh man, this you just grew up with this amazing artist and a filmmaker, and then what can you do for him? And then he said, challenge me, AR. So it was like, I think that I was almost like that. I know that he used to, I think he almost said, I hate you. Why are you making me spend so much of money? This is the sound I can't do. I think he said that once, in a funny way, right? And unfortunately, that one of the sets that that there was rain and it spoiled the whole set. And oh my god! But still, I think he pulled off amazingly well. And Anand Rai, when Anand Rai or even Imtiaz, when he filmed Tum Tak, the way he did was, his screenplay is so riveting that he's got something always going on in the song. And you can never relax, like, oh, the song has come in, but there's stories in within. And really, and also very super rooted in Indian culture, which is beautiful. So, and Imtiaz is almost like an artist. He goes so deep in something, and so that we get inspired by what he's done before to what I'm giving. He's got to get more inspired because he has to get something new for him to do more, or for him to get challenged more, and that is the constant thing we start doing.
So it's a trip all the time, I guess.
Yeah, a good trip.
Trip. Yeah. I always felt this trip while listening to your music, and the word would be spiritual all the time. Like you have at least one music or a space where it is absolutely transcending. Like something happens to the song, and you basically that piece you want to hear again and again. You basically hear the song again for particular that piece. There are
Yeah, the as musicians, I think whether you take Carnatic or Hindustani or generally music, is we can go to that realm when you really dive deep into the realm of unknown, where you want to be helpless and you want to be free from everything, from even life, living. So you're just living a very few, a free kind of a zone where you're floating. And that's why I don't keep my phones on. If one SMS comes in while writing, oh my god, okay, then it's gone. You come from the seven heavens back to the
yes,
The dump
dump yard.
yard. So phones and one ringtone is enough, or one email is enough.
yeah.
So I keep telling my boys, like, don't.
Yeah. And I don't know how many people are listening to this and they will relate to this, that this trance, basically this whole realm experience, uh, we experience it through your songs, and it comes out like properly, and you can actually dive deep down into that music and in that time zone for some time, and you just want to be there. It's kind of a
Yeah,
liberation feeling, feeling of a liberation.
Well, because I think we're living in chaos, so much chaos, and we just have to put all that apart and trying to go to that one so that it can reflect to people who also are in the same chaos. They're facing negativity, they're facing challenges in life, the modern challenges of finance and conflicts. And the least we can do is transport them for a while so they feel like when they're dreaming,
Yeah.
dreaming while you're awake.
Right.
And I think it's just only scratching the surface. Much more could be done, I guess.
Mm. We are happy with it.
No, I think if a whole team decides to do that, imagine what will happen. Like filmmaker, producer, writer, actors, and imagine what could happen to a movie like that. It would be like unbelievable.
I don't think we have that kind of a space, like workspace in a way.
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a different, like I have seen people who are like this, who want to basically who be in that zone and be in peace, do good music and stuff like that, and but it doesn't work out after a point. The system is such, and you have to engage
Yeah.
into too many things, and you need to do things, and
Yeah.
then that space is not there.
Yeah.
I'm in a way, being back in Chennai. I think a lot of people felt like, even recently with Vidhuvana Chopra ji came. He said, "Can you just give me a place here? I'll stay here forever." So it's because I think they, um, Mumbai is great, and so many things are happening, amazing things are happening. But also, but now I think everybody has rest, so no complaints.
Nobody's gonna complain.
All the running around you did in life. Now I think it's like God is kind of like all you guys rest. Don't meet each other. Be with your families. That's great.
Being with the self, I guess. A lot of people are.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. And how much time do we get? Like we all always looking at the phone, and it's becoming like an addiction. What is Instagram saying? What is Twitter saying? What is Google News saying? And
And it disturbs, it disturbs in the process of doing a creative work. It has always affected.
and that's one of the reasons why I started. I mean, I always worked in the nights because it's like another world. The night world is everybody sleeping, so nobody disturbs you.
Right.
And so when I went to LA, in my life after post Oscars, like 5 years of post Oscars, my agent got very angry. I mean, he was, "What are you doing? I'm just working my thing off to get you Hollywood movies, and you're not picking up the phone in the morning." I said, "I sleep till 2 in the afternoon." Then I made him understand. Then every time, "Oh yeah." So, but then there, yeah, exactly. So when he started waking up in the morning, it felt very weird. And LA is also like Chennai, it's sunny most of the times.
There's sun and
So
it is
you've
very
tried
good.
switching, like the morning time work. You've tried.
No, I do sometimes, due to jet lag and all, you won't be able to sleep.
Mhm.
So you get up morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's good, but no work gets done. My mind would be, okay, what should I order on the internet?
Which plugin, what is happening, what
What offers are going on?
I mean, LA, it's like the Mac store and instrument store is just a Uber away, so you go there.
Crazy. I also want to ask you a couple of things. Can I hear something? A theme maybe. I always fancied that piece of music. If you can play it.
Which one?
The piece, the second music of Orichori. It starts with Sarangi, right? That bull cart. The sound is going on loop, and then
yeah.
Oh, whatever. I've not performed Lagan in ages.
It's a beautiful piece. It was like this, no?
Yeah. You sing so beautifully.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
So
I remember.
You have some. I don't remember all the songs, but at least 4-5 songs I've seen. A Sarangi piece which comes, and I think your favorite raga is Hemant, is it? Like. You have those phrases, and it creates such a basically you fly away to another planet. It's like that. It's transcending. Can you just do something in Hemant? Would like to hear something.
Is that Hemant?
I think so. I'm not sure.
You listen to a song called Anjali, South Indian. So that's Chitraji sings one humming in the same raga thing.
Which one? No, I haven't heard it.
So that song is a South Indian song. Balachandra Ji's movie. Then there's one interlude on this. Yeah, that's like pretty long, 1 minute or something.
I remember another one. That Mungil Thotum song is which film? Kadal, right?
Cuddle, yeah. Yeah, if you just leave one chord, you'll get stuck. I don't know where. Yeah, it's my favorite. So we took, our lyric writer Vairamutuji. He didn't have a lyric, or maybe he was busy. I think he was in Switzerland or something that 2 days, and we said let's start it. And then we took his book and we saw this. I said, and I had done a tune on accordion, so we just patched it, and it was like bang on. We just opened, like closed my eyes and opened the book, and this thing came in. So yeah, sometimes
Oh God.
and boom, this like perfectly fitted in, and the tune and what the lyric is, and if you
How can we we miss these music, like right, like today's music, we hear music, a lot of music is happening, and good music is also happening. I like a lot of Hindi music, but
Yes,
I
a lot of young
really,
people.
yes, I really like them, but what I miss is there was something to hold on to while listening to
Yeah.
your song, or Jatin Lalit's song at that point of time, or I really like Pritam Chakravarti, Vishal Shekhar, and these guys, Amit Trivedi. I like these guys, and they do something new all the time. But the rest of the people who are basically like people like us, young musicians who are trying to do something, we we are doing that major minor thing at the same time. We're not trying to understand different areas and genres, and maybe we're not even trying to crack it.
yeah, like I think Naushad ji is a good example. What he did with ragas, even though so if you take even a wait. So बेकस पे करम कीजिए सरकार मदीना बेकस. It's, I think, so much rooted in the Tumri and classical zone that and simplicity of lyrics again. Sometimes the simplest of thoughts actually makes beautiful tunes because you can repeat it. And sometimes we have to stress that it needs to be as simple as that. Then the tune can take over and do things. And
But you need to identify. You see, you identify this like naturally. But
most of Hindustani music, if you study, I think most of them have that, no? Like
yes,
They take a word and then twist it so
yes,
beautifully
yes, they
that
have
the
that.
means.
actually gives that. You have to start listening, and that's the joy of you listen to. Music is timeless. It's not like today's music, yesterday's music.
Yes,
A tune is a tune. Many times it's proven. Like they take a lot of old Nusrat Saab's compositions. Rush Ke Kamar and all. It's come back after 25 years or something. Still becomes a hit because the tune and the sound of the lyric.
And
that's what I'm trying to. I'm basically concerned about the fact that we are doing a good production music and a lot of things are happening.
I think half. Even if you take 50% of it, which could be experimented on classical, satisfying melodies.
Yes, satisfying melodies.
And-
That's the right way to put it, I guess.
yeah.
Uh,
So
and something
I
to
think
learn. Like
that
you put out one song, and I am learning that song for like months. I'm just hearing it. I'm being a improved musician after hearing that song. That song is changing my life.
That because I'm also learning while creating it.
So,
so
don't you think we
not that
also should
I
do
have
that?
ready-made stuff where I take it out. It evolves. So I do that and then listen to it like
Maybe that harkat can be like this and call the singer back again. Because I think, not only the song making process, how people made before also inspires. Then I heard stories about Naushad ji and I once I think asked Lata ji that she said Naushad ji made me come for 11 days for this song. I learned it in the third day itself, but still it would make me sing it again, 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 again. I said this is not a punishment, but and he might have something in this that it's gone into the soul, that it's now irreplaceable, or it's gone into the soul of the society of a whole 3 different generations. The songs of what he's done, it's not just Naushaji, it's the lyric writer that is amazing lyric writers, and Lataji and Rafi Saab and Kishore Da and all who did great service. And those days, I think rehearsal was important because they had only they were actually recording in optical. So if anybody makes a mistake, they'll lose the stock,
Yes.
and it's a loss for the producer. They had to rehearse so much so that they can give like a couple of takes, and it'll be in one track. So the mixer, instrumentalist, everybody has to be in the top level. They'll be sweating, and there are no fans. There were no AC that time. When I used to play in the 82, 81, Chennai was hot, and there used to be the giant fans. They'll put it in between takes. That's it, and all the synthesizers, would go out of tune.
Yeah, of course.
The Jupiter 4 and all those stuff will go out of tune because the capacitors and everything was old technology.
Yes.
So we had to fight with that and floppy disks.
Floppy disk, yes.
So floppy disk will go and shows the error finish. Once, I think twice it happened, where we completely erased what we programmed for like 5 hours.
God.
Yeah, those kind of, at least we don't have those challenges now.
Yes, we don't have those challenges these days. We have different challenges. Things are
Yeah.
we absolutely different challenges. Coming to synth, your synthesis. You have started synthesis like long ago, and we
Actually, my
identified
father.
it.
My father had bought.
And kept that synthesizer for me. Maybe 73, 74, it bought the first synthesizer, at least in South India, and he won a ticket to Japan because he bought the first Skorg SH, and it's a monophonic,
Okay.
simple synthesizer, but it used to produce all these funny sounds.
Right. So these days we are whoever is working, basically whatever we're trying to produce, we're trying to use analog synths. We're basically trying to synthesize the song, and it feels cooler. Like that's what is happening right now. What do you suggest? How do we approach this synthesis? Do we right now everything is in a platter, like you have softwares, you have plugins, you have different like for the sidechain also you have a plugin, you don't need to go into the compressor and do it manually, so everything is in a platter. What do you suggest to people like us who are trying to understand production and trying to compose things, but at the same time learn it, understand it? How do we start? How do we get it?
I think it's a trial and error. I think you develop your mind, your heart into a very high sonic. You listen to great things, and then when you start producing, you automatically know, no, it's not, something's missing. I'm not getting that vibe. It's just a vibe thing. There are no technical explanations. Who cares what you use or what I use? Ultimately, if it doesn't sound good, they'll throw it on my face. That happens, and that's for sure. And sometimes you feel good, and it's working for you, and doesn't work for them. They come back. It might take a month or two. Not every song. I'm just saying some songs they might have rejected first, and they come back and say, "Oh my God, it's really good. Why didn't I like it that time?" Because what is around that time also matters.
Right.
What they're listening to at that time matters. They don't realize sometimes. Sometimes it surprises them. Sometimes it's like they just ignore.
Right. I understand. Basically, I'm trying to get all the suggestions so that new music can sound like you, the way you have.
No, I think all of us have grown with our own influences, and I think our mind has to be honest. That's it, and that reflects. that whole thing about you're offering something, and people are going to spend time listening to it, respect their time, and so that makes, I mean, those things are top level for me. And so the lyric matters, the tune matters, the production matters, and how we give it to people. Even now, now Atmos has come, no, like Dolby Atmos audio, which is great.
Yes.
You hear it like in a normal. If you have that system, it sounds like really cool.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay me, so I'm just
Just telling you, my son just called me and said, like, Daddy, listen to Atmos audio, it's come.
and he played me some of the international thing. In fact, we were trying to mix 99, and we announced that.
Oh, okay. I've also, like, we've been, there's one mixing engineer you must know, he has worked for you, Shadab Ryan.
Okay.
So he was also speaking about the Dolby Atmos. We were talking about it, and it's pretty cool that the audio has come. And I think iPhone will, or maybe the Samsung Galaxy is also going to have that technology.
Atmos.
I guess.
Yeah, I think. I mean, on the headphones, fine, but I'm just saying with the speakers.
Because
System, yes,
it's-
because
yeah.
it's a different
They,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, the quality of, I mean, the way we bought music before has changed, right? We went to a shop and we got a CD, or we asked the guy to, if we didn't have money, can you transfer that CD to, or a record to a tape, and then all that has changed. Now it's like it comes into your thing free. So you don't realize, because it's free, it's valuable or it's not valuable. So that only your mind has to take the decision what you have to cling
But
on.
don't you
cling
think it will be unfair for people to understand it that way, because the system is like that? Because I remember
Yeah.
I used to save money to buy a cassette which was like 35 rupees at that point of time, and when I didn't have money, I used to copy the cassette. It used to take 5 rupees or 6 rupees, but that saving those rupees while you're a student, it was
Yeah.
a big thing. It was, and I used to really, that's how I valued music. That's how I really waited for one album that I'll buy this album.
That's not there now. I think that even learning like one bandish for like 3 days and sitting in the same place like a chilla,
Yeah,
No,
chilla.
that's not-
Yeah.
that's not there now anymore, right?
No,
Have you
anymore, right?
done chilla?
Huh?
Have you done chilla?
No. Vocals I never learned. It just came from teaching to singers, trying to teach, like play. And then one day I was singing, it's like, oh, did I sing that?
No, you're being too humble.
So only recently I've started taking time in singing, like sit there like a couple of hours and then check, go back. Before you speak 20 minutes and then you just comp it and I go off. And so I think it showed a bit. So I'm just also singing my range.
Mm.
Lower
Range.
and
You please don't talk about range. There's a song called Jage Hai. That was a shock range. Like, we have heard you in different ranges before, and we used to fancy that. Like, that kind of range is basically any singer would be, envying. This is, yeah, absolutely. But after Jage Hai came, it was like, you can't really imagine. You can't touch that.
Yeah, the da, right? Oh yeah, the key change happens. Oh my god.
After the change happens.
Yeah.
oh my god.
So I think I'm gonna stick to singing low now.
Yeah, that's better. But it's like, it's uplifting. That song is inspiring.
Yeah, that's my favorite. You know how it came, like, so Mani sir has all my jamming stuff he'll have, and then I'll give him a comped version. So suddenly he said, hey, I'd hear this melody. It's just me singing on I think a tape recorder. Na, 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 na. And he said, why is he giving it to me? But if he gives it to me, I think there's something in it. He's got a great ear in recognizing melodies. So I said, why don't we make this like a symphonic Puccini kind of a thing? And he said, try it out. And then the whole strings and the choir, and then we got great lyrics from Gulda Saab. after that it just went up. And
And
I think he is also amazing, inspiring person. Like I've been so lucky to work with Javed Saab, Majroo Saab, Anand Bakshi Saab, Mehboob, and then Gulzar Saab. They're all very therapeutic. When we work with them, we feel like we're working with the universities,
yeah.
where that's even at the simplest level when they write, there's so much of depth in it, and that's actually elevated my music so much. You know, that's when you realize, okay, the power of lyrics and what can do for even the simplest tunes. They create an emotional, it goes much more deeper than just music alone. The music alone has some of the value, but
Yes.
if they don't have the right lyrics, it's done.
True, I agree. Yes. Yes.
And now with the other two geniuses, Amitabh and Irshad Kamil,
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Crazy. These guys
crazy, right?
are. Both of them. Uh, what about symphony? Is it going to be dead in India? Like people are not going to program symphonies anymore. We don't hear Hindi music.
Orchestral.
Orchestral. Like
Obviously, Saab. Yeah.
Tariq has it now from Dil Bechara. Like Dil Bechara has it. Like Dil Bechara has symphony, like proper symphony, and we like crave it when it is not happening.
It takes time. See, the thing is, it takes time, and there is a certain kind of cadence and harmonies which work. And it may be the simplest things, but I'm a big fan of Andrea Bocelli, and I recently saw the David Foster documentary. Have you seen that?
No.
It's on Netflix US, I think. Then you realize, like, it comes from classical music, opera. Then it got shifted to a little more contemporary stuff, like what Whitney Houston did and what Celine Dion did, and Sarah Brightman, and because I worked in theater a bit, Bombay Dreams and Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
I think that influence was great. I think that's changed the way I would think about songs after that. Like the reason why our orchestras are great for our music, but when it comes to symphonic music, our intonation of what our players used to play was funky a bit. With our music, it sounded great, and it is, in a way, they grew up with our music. So that's one of the reasons why we started the conservatory, the K Music Conservatory, where
Oh.
I said this is the way to, even if it takes time. Now we have
Yeah.
almost like a chamber orchestra where
Yes. Yes.
around 30 people are there now, like brass and strings. Now they're learning, and they're all kids from 11 years they've been here. I mean, now they're like 18, 19. They're smart, beautiful looking now, and so they play in my music now. Like some of the solos, even in Dil Bechara, they play the strings in that. And this also, I think, when you're a musician, you need to think about the even infrastructure, like what you're doing for that, how to give back, because you've taken from what other people built, and you need to give back, and it should effectively, resonate. When it comes out,
Right.
the change should be felt, I feel.
As a composer, if suppose somebody is trying to become a composer and do something, I remember a song from Rang De Basanti, Tu Bin Bataye. It had tremendously beautiful counterparts, strings from the cross, like and after that, from there you have a string, like it's like a flight, like you basically it's like a string bird who's carrying you.
Yeah, so that is exactly like,
How do you compose something like that?
so you know what, actually it's when you think about it's like a movie making, in a way. So when something is static, something has to be moving, otherwise everything is static, it's boring, right? So if it's that, That note is sustaining that. Your favorite raga again. Yeah, so I think it's an instinct which comes naturally in the mind that, oh, that is staying, so let's move something else. And
But the combination of notes, they are like, I don't know how you catch. It's like catching a moment. You do something to that. How do you do it?
no, I think, that I give the credit to, Rakesh. Um, he was so receiving and so sympathetic towards music, and with Prasoon as a combination, he would come up with lyrics like that. So I gave the tune, and he just went in 10 minutes. He wrote this and came back. And I said, this stuff is not there now. Let's do this kind of song. And so I said, I have this tune. Then he heard it. I said, go ahead, do it. So now people have a lens. This song, they want to sit here. They have so many lenses attached and to dissect it before even it's born. So then what happens is then there's no trust. And it's not like, how am I going to make the song work, rather than how are you going to do a song which is going to work for me. Rather, that's an important thing where so it's a combination effort. It's a combined effort of the makers trying to fit in something beautiful. For instance, there's a tappa in the movie Mom. Have you heard that one?
Yes.
See the movie? So where they go to this art gallery, and so I was thinking, like, what if we use something super classical with electronics? And so we got Sudeep Jaipurwala, and I said, "Can you sing like your grandfather? I'll give you 3 months." I told him. So he went, and yes, I will do that. So he went and learned that one, and he came in and said, he performed so brilliantly. So I said, okay, now with this, the complexity of that situation, they never talk. They just, Sridevi ji and, now then they just exchange notes. And I was thinking, how can you bring the complexity of that? It's happening, and it's happening. There's a lot of Indianness in the gallery,
Yes.
in a way. A lot of symbolism. And so I said, okay, let's do this one. And it starts with Zalim. So the tapas, so that would be really cool.
Even that song of Mom is also breathtaking.
Yeah. So we had done some other song, and then Boniji saw the movie and he said, "Yeah, this song is not working at this point." And that was, I think, we used it as an end credit song. Shasha sang that song, and so I said, okay, and we had to release the album in a week. So Ishaji was here. He brought Ishad also. So I said, okay, it was done in 15 minutes. I said, how about this? It was formulaic. That song was formulaic, but it worked with the movie better. Plan B.
Okay, now talking about album Swades. Would you play that accordion, please?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I think Ashutosh, again, he's so involved in the music. He listens to every bit I do. And there's actually a bass line. And like, he said, I love that melody. Can you play that in an accordion? So he is the one who suggested that, can you play that bass line into an accordion? So I said, wow,
that
okay.
pulse was like mind blowing. And then the string comes in.
It's nice to work like this, like a family of, thinkers together, and who are all aiming at a similar destination rather than different ones. there are similar destinations of greatness, of love and of passion, rather than saying who gave the better idea or who, and sometimes you try some ideas and doesn't work and you go back. So it's like,
I also felt like that song of Legend of Bhagat Singh. Jogiya, jogiya, ve, jogiya, sare jahan chhod ke, na, 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 na. It's a very, how do you, like, how do you plan these notes? How do you compose a melody like this? Like, it's heard, at the same time it's not heard. Like, you can relate to it, but it's a very unique piece. How do you do that? Do you do this deliberately,
That-
or
that-
you just
I think it's maybe my scattered knowledge about North Indian music
no?
and bringing my other musical influence of what I have totally into that thing and what feels right. And so sometimes you go out of. Sometimes I play it on the instrument. When you play it on the instrument,
You have more freedom because
Oh.
my vocal skills are lesser than my playing skills, I think. So, so when I start playing, the articulations are much more. It's
Precise,
like
okay.
an engineer or architect who's drawing than building.
Mm.
You know, the drawing is easy and say, oh, this doesn't fit here, and then you build it. You don't build it and then demolish it.
Right.
So playing always helps me a lot. So I can unplay stuff, I can edit and bring things together and say, okay, this feels better. And for instance, in Dil Bechara, I know that Mera Naam Kizi, that claret piece.
Hmm.
So that actually, it was not a song which, it was one of the first songs we composed because initially it was named Kizi and Manny. And so I said, okay, why don't these are very uniquely sounding names, so why don't we do a song? So I played him and he liked it, but we couldn't use it in the movie. So, but we put it in the background.
And the album it is there, right?
Yeah.
so I was thinking that what BGM should we do, and anyway, they don't want to picturize it, so let's have fun. So I had a patch on. There's a new plugin called the Swarm physical modeling plugin of clarinet, flute, and thing.
Okay.
So it's really, really amazing once you use all the modulators,
Okay.
breath control, and this
Oh,
and that.
okay.
So I had done I think 25 minutes jamming on it.
And my assistant was looking at me, and she was like, Hiral was looking at like, what's happening?
Then I thought, Hiral, edit this. So I think then we edited that one. And
Yeah, it's sometimes you just play for 8 bars, play for 20 minutes, and you get some beautiful 8 bars out of that. And rather than thinking about this 8 bars, which comes as a result of that.
I also record songs like that. Everything has been learned from you, and I kind of I kind of understand how it is done now. So that's how I put like 1 hour, 2 hours for the song, and not thinking about a mistake or or a good space, whatever, good or bad. I avoid everything, and finish the recording. And it's better to chop off things later and find the right one for that timing, basically.
Correct. So do you remember for Tum Saath Ho?
you gave two options. You said, okay, because you gave an octave high and octave low.
Yeah. Because the low was very low for me, so I thought let me try one
Correct.
open voice.
Yeah, you did that, and that one good thing you did was you had just done it exactly the same
Exactly the
without
same, yeah.
any sync issues.
Yes.
So I accidentally put both on.
I was surprised.
Wow, this sounds great. Because if it was out of sync, I wouldn't have used it. It was
Yeah.
bang on sync. I said, okay, let's put together. So when we do shows, what we do is we get a female like Neeti Moon or Janita sings the octave high.
Okay.
So they both sing together to get that same effect. Effect.
I was surprised by that double track. You're sounding awesome. Like, I never thought of that, but it fitted really well.
So you tell me about you, because I've not. You just told me that you learned classical music till.
I'll share my experience with you. How I like. There are some people, some musicians who basically inspired me, and you are one of them. And I have like I will keep on saying this. Please don't be embarrassed. That you have inspired me a lot, and I like literally lived your music while I was a student. I was learning things. And how it happened was Indian classical music and Adhunik Bangla Gan. Basically, Adhunik Bangla Gan, the modern Bengali songs of Shamul Mitra, Manna De, Arati Mukherjee, composers like S.D. Burman, R.D. Burman, Salil Chaudhary, all these, basically these songs, Sandhya Mukhopadhyay songs, and there are too many artists, I can't really, mention each of them. But these music has always, they have always inspired, basically they make me curious all the time. It's very different. Every time you hear a music, you find something new, and it gives you pleasure the moment you find something. And what happened is I encountered with your music, and I immediately felt that this is something that I heard, but not this way I have heard. Like, this is very unique, and that's how I became very interested in learning music, not Indian classical music, but properly music, that every note I had to identify. So my task used to be playing your song, and I'll pick one instrument, like I'll pick the bass, and I'll just go with the bass, and I'll start understanding which notes are playing.
That's the best way to learn. And when I was growing up, as a film musician, I learned how to read notes. Sa sa ga ma pa ni sa, syncopations and everything. So because you have to be so fast, and the whole orchestra would laugh at you because I told you, everybody plays together. And I was the youngest. I was like definitely a fish out of water. Youngest among all older people, amazing people. And so I didn't, yeah. So on that particular point, for me to listen to other music, like I suddenly went into jazz because the notes were so simplistic in studios, because it's like Shanai and Santur and like a synth solo and just vibraphone chords. That's the whole thing we used to play. And for background score, the drone, all the stuff. So I said, like, then you Chikoria. Like, how are you going to E major and how are you going to B major? So this actually changed, like how you said, I'll just slow it down and then hear. Like, how's he going to E major and D? And so then you understand, like, oh my God, so it's all allowed. Where we come from, classical traditions, you go out of a rag, people just look as though they're going to slap you, right? So but here, jazz was like, you're in an open green field, you're running all over the place. But then I realized, like, okay, this is good for you, but nobody cares about it.
There's a very esoteric small, this is not going to feed your family. Right?
Said, okay, now this is good, but then it opened up my mind. And so, for instance, so you play. So I usually play a C minor for the. What if you play this chord and. So this actually influenced a lot in a very, very small way, where I was playing chords against ragas. Jazz actually helps a lot, because it the trap which you're in, that you can't go out, will change. So if you say Sian, I'm not going out of the rag on the melody, but on the bass and the chords, I'm having fun, and it actually gives a very. just using fourths.
So that's what jazz actually taught me. Like
So
for
this
that
this
little
fusion
2 years.
is amazing. Like you're being on the rag also, at the same time you're playing around with the.
Yeah, so the melody is very strong, and then you feel that, but then underneath all that stuff is happening, confusion, which you don't notice. You feel that there's something else happening, but because it's in harmony, you don't realize that it's doing something bad or out of the what it should be doing. Sometimes it works. Sometimes people send me recordings which are I can't listen to it because they go.
Some wrong note like that,
Yeah, wrong. Those notes.
and then it doesn't feel right. You understand?
Right.
So it is also like when you use a ragamalika, like there are many ragamalikas in Karnataka I've listened to, and even in Hindustani, how they go from one rag going up and coming back another rag, and they also mention the raga name. Like a lot of people have done this, and there's one of M.S. Subbulakshmi also. I think it's beautiful.
So we
So-
also used to practice this Murchana thing. So
Yeah.
basically you are in the same tat, but you're just changing the root note and it becomes a different
Yeah.
tat.
That's called Sudhi Vedam, I think. In
Sudhivedam, okay.
Sudhi
It
Vedam, I
used to
mean,
be a
yeah.
very nice practice at that point of time. Basically keeping your head into one place and sticking into the root note at the same time, letting your mind open up to other melodies. So it used to be a very nice practice session, and it used to feel different and beautiful. The melody used to sound suddenly one rag to another rag transition.
Actually, Kun Faya Kun was like that. So I wanted to do it in Bhairavi. And so it is like. So it went, and then we didn't commit much, but then da, ra, 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 ra.
That was the root, and then
Right.
because it sounded a bit dark,
We stuck to the major as though it's like a major song. But it started. I think Javed and both of us were jamming, and he was, I think, in the office room of my Huawei studio, and so this went on for like 15 minutes, and then I felt like maybe the E major, the related chord is sounding better, but then you also have the tinge of. Yeah, it goes to that zone. It started like Bhairavi, and there is Bhairavi in it, but we don't. Yeah.
Wow, this was crazy. It never felt like, but always felt like very spiritual. Your music always inspires us to be spiritual, like just being in that. I keep coming back to that topic because it's been eye-opening, like all the time. There is always a piece in your music which is not driven by anything, not it's not dependent on anything. It's just independently one song, a piece in the music, and you keep coming back to that music. Do you do this purposefully? Because most of the songs you have composed, you have one chunk like that in a song which is transcending, and it's like a trance, like you go deep down into it, and when basically the antara comes again, you basically snap out of it. It's like that. Do you deliberately do this? Do you want to tell something like what it is?
For me, doing a song is an opportunity to give something I've been holding up, to show people also another side of what could exist. And it's not just work for hire where you get a choreographer, you get a dance director does stuff, and then it's over. It was a thing to show musicality also, that even musicality and interesting things can also coexist with commercial opportunities, like making a song for movies. And most of the times I think when you have a director who's open, then I just go all over the place. So they contain me, and can we have, like, for instance, working with the Maniratnam and Shankar. So Maniratnam is, he would be open much more. Like Rakesh Mehra will be open, Imtiaz Ali would be open, but Shankar, because he spends so much of money on a song, like he almost spends the money of a movie. That's why all the songs are like epics. Even recently in I, if you had seen that Sid Sriram song, it's like people are just, it's jaw dropping. Like that's kind of energy. So he wants to be, he's concerned, and he lives every bit of it, and wouldn't want even one bar extra of something. So then you can realize, like, this man is crazy and so passionate. So we have to cater to him. So it's a bit of both. Sometimes you're open, sometimes you cater exactly what they want, because you know what pain is going to take to do that things. And yeah, but now I think that whole era of taking a song and doing it beautifully, picturizing beautifully, is slowly going away in a way. It's either dance songs.
How do you do this? Like, you have composed Hi Rama. It's a rock based song, but it's a very hip song. It's a very energetic, powerful song. You combined both, and it doesn't sound old. It generally just off the beat, off the production.
No, exactly. So when there is a formula for sensuous songs, like, why can't you can bring the sensuality of the ragas? But my thing. So I was watching. I was in Goa actually. I was watching Mughal I think. I was watching a scene where, the hero brings a candle near Madhubalaji's face. Dil Kumar Saab. And there's, I think there's Bade Ghulam Ali Khan's subs, alap which goes on. I said, like, oh my God,
Wow.
this is unbelievable. Like, and why can't we do this now, with what Ramu's asking for? And then I play this, and he said, what do you look like me disgustingly first? What is this? And then I put a beat on it. Tung, 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 tung. And then he was like, yeah, I like this.
So he went on, and I remember he was
In my studio, Panchatan, I think, Chennai, where I edited and showed him, when he was walking in that small 6 feet, like some 30 times he walked up and down. And he said, I've cracked it. Give me something percussive. And I said, okay, you want percussive? We went and bought Shivamani to go dun, 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 dun. Then I happened to meet Naushad sir. So he said, why did you put that irritating drums in between?
he was like, so I was like apologetically,
But
no,
we loved it. We loved it. Oh my God. Oh God. Percussion reminded me a song. You used coal in one song of water.
Yeah, that one.
And what is that rag? Saraswati or Bachaspati? I don't know. What is that?
Oh yeah, sorry. So in this, if you look at the Santur, it was live. I was playing Santur live on the sound when Suki was singing this. So he was,
Sukandar
So it's
keeps
a
singing.
Jugalbandi.
yeah. So I was having the keyboard. I put the click on, and then this is going on.
Right.
So he took that stuff and he started singing. Then he was a lyric writer, no? So he made up lyrics. So when you look at that, the constant note going on, I will go. Only there it comes to. Till then, the Santur goes all over the place, like Ragamalika, like it goes on different ragas, and then it goes da na 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 na, I mean, I think in the live performances, it's even more elaborated. But yeah, but in this maybe it might be limited because we edited a lot of stuff in the.
I remember
So I was playing with all these chords here. Then it lands onto that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you emphasize give emphasis to sa, the root note.
Yeah, the sa becomes a ga for another chord. The sa becomes a small gandharam for another chord. The sa becomes the
Right.
Shuddman another thing.
Right.
The sa becomes a. So I think it was a beautiful period. Like Deepa ji is again a very very open soul. Like she loves the joy of making music, and it says either yes or no. I feel it, I don't feel it. So that way is better. So your choice, you have much more bigger playground to play, and all these songs were like done in 4 days.
We really miss this kind of music these days. Like this is.
No, because now music is catering many something else now, right? I mean, bigger movies at least, but this. And
But do you think the audience hasn't changed, right? Like they will love good music. I feel.
yeah, that's the reason why I started producing movies. My first movie, if it releases, and the idea is to explore amazing musical subjects, so I can do stuff, and that's why 99 started, and then Corona happened, and we did not release the movie. So I just holding all my horses, like let this release and let's see if people like it. I will continue with musical movies. I'll produce, and then go more deeper into Indian classical, and I had a lot of plans and kept, but I'm holding everything because so recently I think even SEL's the Bandits, right? That one and Tons and Stamper. Then I was very happy to see somebody producing stuff.
Yeah. SEL has been obviously.
Yeah, they
Shankarji, he's
solid people.
Yeah, he is absolutely brilliant. Keeps on doing something crazy. Like you learn basically for musicians who are learning now and hearing things. I really feel that I feel blessed that I have got your music. I have got Jatin Lalit's music at that point of time.
Yeah, it's a shame they've split. No, I mean I've really missed them.
When they're together, they did some really cute stuff.
That's a different call, but whatever is still there.
Yeah,
like,
I keep telling Shweta, like, tell your uncles to come back.
Yeah. So these days, I don't feel inspired to, I listen to a song. It's nice.
That's because you are a part of that. Because you're doing great. I mean, some of the songs you sing are so beautiful. People love it. And whether it's with Preetham ji or
apart from
with Mithun and.
But still, I'm saying like there are people working. Obviously, there are good music happening.
Grass is greener, buddy.
But I'm saying like learning wise, the melodies are good. Like if I listen to a song, it gives me a great pleasure or maybe a moment of peace. But no learning is happening. Like I'm not inspired listening to songs which like 50 songs out of 100 would be really inspiring at that point of time.
Yeah.
Now the ratio is less. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. How do we revive that?
Yeah, I think everybody is becoming a sheep, following something which is successful, which is easy, and they're becoming very good in it. They don't understand that there are another 10,000 people doing the same thing.
People are
So
okay.
going to the roots of music and exploring something is what might be interesting.
How do you be
Go-
patient in this journey? Because it's very difficult for people to
I mean-
be patient.
Yeah, I know, but then if you really want to, you can do anything. You just, for instance, Ismail Darbar. No, he did Hum Dil De Ke Sanam. Then
The combination of
Brilliant songs.
was really beautiful. That was beautiful. Even
Devdas.
Devdas was beautiful.
Beautiful
Yeah.
composition.
I'm just saying there is always a way, and then some of the songs of Ajay Atul also, no?
Yeah,
Like Marathi stuff.
absolutely. Yes.
So I think if there is love for something, anybody can do it. Right?
But most of the beautiful songs I have seen, Pritam Da has been composing like brilliant songs. Those are not getting passed, and is just
Yeah, exactly.
just working like that, and one composition gets passed, which he doesn't believe in. This has happened, and he's after that, he's after that song to make it something that he likes, because he's
Yeah,
not really happy
what I
with
do
the
for that
main composition.
is
You give them what they want, and you put an extra track which you like, and nobody says no to a freebie. You understand?
Oh,
So-
okay.
But for people don't care whether it comes from a movie. When they listen to a soundtrack, they like some of the songs which were just put as a bonus track became so big. Like there's a song in Marianne, which was just a bit song, I think, which is Enga Pona Rasa, I think. So I was in near the Kodak Theatre once walking, and then suddenly one guy came in, a couple came in and said, "Sir, you," and I think he was an Afghani guy, and he says, "My favorite track of yours," and I thought he was going to say something, that song he says, which is like the. Go something like that.
Wow.
So then that's when I realized like no song is a waste and no effort should be like unnecessary, or everything should have beauty and passion and love in it. You never underestimate what the net does.
I hope we learn to understand music more and keep doing good
I hope.
music. Yeah, I really pray that it happens.
Yeah, I think going against what people think is music, and try to bring some extraordinary beauty from music itself, from the whole universal library of musical sensibilities.
Yes. Like
The
whatever
way
is
it should
happening
be.
is parallel to that. If we do this, like this is also cool. What is happening, and we are hipping to it. We are grooving to the hit numbers which are coming, and there are melodious numbers which are also getting made, and we are tripping on that also. But parallelly, if we have sensible this kind of music which people would be interested in, engage into that song, basically that space of music, it will be really nice. Which basically you are doing. I think you are one of the guys who are doing it, and thank you for that. Thank you for making.
For me, good is because I also have South Indian industry, and there are maniac fans who receive it so well. So we would receive every ounce of any new thing, or even on a rag and everything. They receive it so I've got this full gang of people, and of course not. I mean, even the North Indian audience is amazing. Not that we can't belittle anybody, but the industry is most of the industry is commercially driven. Bigger movies which gets the exposure is very commercially driven. They want a particular kind of songs.
What do you think about if not in films? Like suppose we understand that film music is a different game, and we need because it's commercial driven, and we have a different taste of music. The set of people are different. Maybe that music is working and everything is working fine, and we have nothing against it. If we want to do something like this, why don't we do it in? Why don't people do it in independent platforms? Why what do you suggest?
Yeah, it gets popular. Like we have Pratik who's doing indie music. I tweeted about him like, I think in 2015.
And he has his own sound,
Yes,
own voice.
he is brilliant.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. And there is Mali, and there are a lot of indie artists. There's Jonathan who's from North India, like Northeast, and Jonathan's got, he's up there. Some of the level of singing and songwriting. And we featured him in the QK Nexa recently. And then again, my favorites are, and now recent favorites are, Pratibha Singh. And she sings this ghazal thing like as well, it's like water. And then Ronkini, who sings classical music. I've heard some of the nuances which she does with dynamics. So there is beauty happening. But then I see the YouTube videos, it's got like 71 views. And then you see some other song getting 450 million views, and they said, okay, let's how do you now see where and where? And because many people have to be led to good music because they're younger, and
People like you and me, maybe we have to lead them and say that listen to this
No,
stuff. listen to
because
this.
you have always showed this path that music is just for peace and music is for your solace, and you know, music is basically going to be inside you, and it's not for anything else. It's absolutely your personal experience while you're listening to one piece, and that that has to
And
be
now,
inspiring. And
yeah, now it's become like video. No, we only see music now.
and that too on a mobile phone, right, in the small speakers, and you say, okay, fine. And very few of us put headphones and, hey, oh, look at that, what's happening in the left and what's happening in the right. That deep listening thing, I think it's this whole lockdown has brought that back in a way.
mm,
People are doing that. I mean, sometimes it's nice to see that.
They're going deeper and listening to this track.
so,
Luckily,
do
my
you
both
think-
soundtracks came at this lockdown.
do you think we have that window of opportunity where like people would be able to do something in like independently if they want to do something?
Yeah, I think people are craving, and whatever I think they have to find their voice. It's very important. They either trying to be what is cool, what is in the charts the last couple of years, which they don't understand that's already done. That's chewed and spat.
Yes.
And we need to move on and need to give what the next requirement is, and fresh stuff, fresh food, fresh thoughts, fresh ideas are very, very important. And even in the people in the industry don't know. They only follow what was cooler before, what hit the views for them. And that's one of the reasons why it's rotting in a way. And they don't take risks. They don't, the respect which something new is only when it clicks, it gets respect. But people know exactly what they want, but the system has to change, which is catering and which is curating and giving to the people. That there are a lot of bureaucracy. I feel like there is a lot of things, limitations, and now they say like, we only promote a song for 4 weeks. I can't. I don't want you to release an album 3 months before it'll get old. And all these preconceived corporate ideas have come in, and they're actually damaging the music industry. So they pick something which could be the hit, like remix something, and they bang it on and say, oh, see, we got the views, and they have a cool music video. But the whole idea of going deeper and exploring something and let people discover in their own time, give them 2 months, give them 3 months, and then you should believe in. I mean, and composers have to come up to that level of confidence, and they should have to give the best. Like I'm saying, including me, there's no fooling around, and because people are there to get it, I can see every little nuance being recognized on the comments. So it's beautiful. We live in a good era.
Yes, we are.
Responsibility increases now.
I need one of your suggestions. There's the last thing. I think we're going to close it very soon, in 5 minutes. How do one musician live? What should be the sole target of a purpose of a musician, of basically a musician's life? How do you live? How do you one?
I personally feel music is a beautiful profession. It's a gift from God. And your life has to be an example to the music world. You have to contribute your success, because your success is music success. If you become a loser, if one of us become a loser, the whole stigma in the society which thinks that music is not a credible profession or art is not a credible profession, it gets reinstated, which is bad. So you have to constantly prove that you are a success, and you don't whine about things, but you just pick up. Like now I've seen that now people who are musicians are selling vegetables. I said, it's cool. I'll do anything. I'll survive. I want to be a musician. I can do anything. I can sell vegetables. I can become a cook. I can become a driver. I'll survive. And music is not a bad profession. And in the future, there's also this saying about how artificial intelligence is going to take over 60% of the jobs, creative jobs. are the ones which are going to take off, are the ones which are going to keep people alive. Because the way we create is how, it's in our DNA, in our influences, it's in our culture, it's in our spirituality. So that is something unique which gets reignited at every moment when you see you hear a beautiful song from you, or they hear my song, or a classical recording from the 20s or 30s or 50s. And we should keep that flag up. And this is what I would say, not sitting and waiting for things to come, but do it. And human mind, anything is possible. If you want something to be a success, you will do it. You will, because we can rise up to that level where we're not complaining, thinking, oh, I don't have a chance, I'm not getting. You can do anything because you are the entrepreneur, you are the king of your universe, and that king has to rise to take music up. And you can't be saying, I don't have work, I have to pay bills. Come on. Okay? Right.
Thank you. Please forgive me if I have
No. It's lovely.
this
It's
has
lovely.
been
And
a
God
long
bless you.
conversation.
Keep doing your amazing service to music.
Keep doing
And
music for us. Thank you very much
God
for
bless.
making
God
music.
bless.